Back to Bob. Bob, I want to jam a few calls in while you're here because you can speak on any issue. You've been fighting the globalists for close to 50 years, you know, an icon in the movement for liberty. But before we go to the calls, any other points you haven't added today that you think are important?
No, I think we've covered some of the highlights, things that are in the news, things that are coming. No, we got it good. Let's bring on the callers. They're our bread and butter.
All right. Kyle in Missouri, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good, sir.
I was just listening to your show this afternoon, and I noticed that you're asking everybody to do some searches on search engines and Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that. For those people who sit down at the computer 5 or 6 times a day just to check their stuff and then they get up and leave, they're probably not going to think about doing the search for you. There are, however, really, really simple-to-use add-ons for just about any browser out there that can automatically do searches for them or refresh current searches that they have.
Yeah, like Google will ask you, hey, do you want us to give you updates on this term?
Yeah, that and, like, extensions. Like, just for example, Google has one, and I use it for this exact purpose, called... Reload Every. No, that's Firefox. Firefox has one called Reload Every, and it can set up a refresh for you randomly or every 1 second or 10 seconds or 10 minutes or however often you want it to search for you.
And I've read about this, that the mainstream media has these to push Lindsay Lohan and stuff. The media is already doing this themselves.
Correct. So this is a tool that info warriors and patriots who just leave their computers on that they can install on their browsers that will help.
Do me a favor, send me a list of those, and I'm going to send it to Watson and ask him to do a blurb, or I'll have Matt Ryan do it. Aaron's busy with filmmaking with me today. But we need to get that done and have an article about this and have the add-ons there so people know what's going on. Bob, what's your take on this?
I think it's a great idea. And as you say, others are doing it, so why shouldn't we do it? So let's do it. And let's put that particular DVD right in the front of people so they can see what's really going on.
The Obama deception. Kyle, God bless you. Tom in Texas, you're on the air.
Hi, Bob and Alex.
Hello.
Hey, listen, real quick, Bob, do you see in the next 6 to 9 months a breakdown, a bankrupting of the local municipalities where the police departments and stuff can't run?
That was a question I meant to ask Bob. Stay there because I want to throw that out. I mean, it's already happening in Ohio and Michigan and Florida and California where they say we're not going to pave the streets in L.A., the sidewalks. We're going to lay off a bunch of cops. And they won't respond to burglary and robbery. I mean, this is really happening. So I don't see it happening. It's already happening. And Gerald Salente's prediction of total collapse by December, unfortunately, looks like it may happen. Bob Chapman.
Possible. I don't think it's probable. And one of the reasons why is people are going to have to be pushed to the very edge because people are not lawbreakers in America. Yes, we have criminals, but every society has criminals.
But it's almost like these police chiefs saying we're not going to stop crime. They're trying to encourage a collapse.
No, I just think they want to keep their jobs, and they want to do a good job, generally speaking. And it's great disappointment, and I can understand that. And I think they should think in terms of, well, it's not going to be forever either. I mean, if the state or the city or the county can raise enough money, they can hire policemen back again.
Well, then, Bob, give us your timeline. I mean, how bad's this depression going to get? We are in a depression. Do you agree?
Yes, and we started a year ago, February. I think that the Fed is going to go to creating money and credit. How long will that last? Probably 2 years. What will that do? It'll lift the economy exactly as you saw in the last 5 quarters where we gained about 3.5% plus on GDP because $2.5 trillion was injected.
Well, we know that's Cook numbers. They claim unemployment's 9.4 and all the experts say it's over 22.
Well, that's true. The only thing is they're going to try to skate this thing through until after the next election. Not this one, but the following one. And that's what I think they're going to do it. And that'll be accompanied by higher inflation, and it'll probably knock unemployment back a point or two from 22.2 to perhaps 20.2, but it's not going to be substantial. And that's what they'll get out of it. We should get 14% inflation easy. It might be much higher than that.
So you're saying inflation.
I don't know.
Tom, anything else?
Yes, Alex. I just wanted to let you know, here in San Antonio yesterday, we had a much older plainclothes police officer from the city of San Antonio in here with 2 Kosovo nationals. And one of our employees asked him, said, "Hey, where are you guys from?" And they said, "We're from Kosovo." And of course that alarmed me. And I, look at there's Police International. You take a look at that company, and this guy looked like a stormtrooper. They were in a plainclothes car. He let her out of the back door, and it was very suspicious. I mean, so what do we have? City, of San Antonio police doing, running around with Kosovo nationals in police cars?
Well, I mean, they're training with foreign troops everywhere. We've shot the video. We have the military admitting it. I mean, they admit they want to use foreign assets domestically. Thank you, Tom. Joe from Chicago, you're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm really shocked at Bob's prognostication. I read that the Europeans were predicting that the euro would be up to $1.50 by December. Basis that China was striving for a basket of currencies, and number 2, China is very enraged about these English American rating agencies and wanted to form their own. What's your opinion, Bob?
Yeah, how does that tie into the AAA rating being lost for Europe and the U.S.?
Well, China is doing what's proper. They're right in their assessment. And you talk about another currency, it's the SDR. The Chinese have been given the IMF dollars and getting SDRs in return. So they're behind that movement. They're not against it. And if you look at today's figures that just came out, you'll see that during the month of May, China was a large seller of dollar-denominated assets. And so they're exiting the dollar, as other countries are.
Yeah, that was actually in CNBC today, that they're, for the first time, moving on to the dollar. They're not purchasing a lot of T-bills.
Yeah, that's visible. And they've done some of that before, which wasn't as visible. And so normally, a year and a half ago, 64.5% of the foreign exchange of foreign nations was in U.S. dollars. That figure is around 59.5 right now. So there's dumping going on. And, of course, it's going to be expedited by the fall in the dollar. And incidentally, in that fall of the dollar, which we just experienced, and it's in motion, not only the Chinese were sellers, but other central banks as well were sellers. And so all they did was get a second chance to sell.
Our industrial base has collapsed. Our industrial base has collapsed. Our credit is collapsing. Our dollar is collapsing. I mean, we're already in a collapse. Collapse isn't imminent. The question is, how deep will it go? Thanks for the call, Joe. Real fast, Bob, how deep will it go?
Extremely deep, over a period of time. And, I don't like to pick dates. It's very, very, very hard. I mean, I picked recently the circumstances of default and a new currency, the SDR, and revaluation and devaluation. But trying to put a time frame on it is extremely difficult because things change so fast. So the same thing is true about insurrection in America or any other country. It's there. It's latent. We don't have we may not have the local police forces to keep order, and that will expedite craziness.
So the volcano is active.
It could get real bad, but I don't know when, but I think it's coming.
So the volcano is active and trending towards eruption.
Right, and, Gerald can pick by December, and he may well be right. I just don't know.
Oh, I hope he's wrong.
I just know it's bad, and we're going to get there.
I hope he's wrong, but he's a smart guy. That's why we have him on. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's talk to Duff in Kansas. You're on the air, Duff.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Bob.
Hey.
Just a couple of things real quick. Listening to you guys, I listen to your program daily. I'm a Prison Planet TV subscriber, but
thank you.
In listening to you guys, I've done a lot of things different. And one real good example that goes out to your listeners, our company, which is a real small company, changed our IRAs. And we got the pamphlets last night. I went on the internet and was looking at their pamphlet, comparing it to the S&P 500, which our new retirement's connected to. and started doing my research. Their graphs didn't match what the stock market's graphs showed. Their graphs were completely, wrong. But the first story I came across on my iPhone connected to the S&P 500 was the collapse of middle-class society. You know, so I do things completely different today as a result of listening to your program. And the other point that I wanted to make is the way I watch the news is also different. You know, I